everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. So a couple of weeks back I published a video on how to read music, and this video is kind of the counterpart, namely how to learn by ear. These are both really good skills to develop because they both speak to different ways of learning, your visual learning and your oral learning, and I really like to have this combination. I feel like it makes me stronger as a musician. It's going to improve your memory, you'll be much better able to improvise, this is going to improve your confidence. The important thing to remember is that learning to learn by ear takes time. It's like building up a new language, you're in fact building up a new sense. So take your time and build it up slowly. So how to tackle learning by ear? You listen to some music and then you can play it? What? How does that work? Step one is recognizing whether you are playing the same note or not. This is even before finding the note. So let's try this out. I'm going to play a long note on my recorder. You can actually use any size of recorder. I want you to try and find the same note. We're going to do this again. I want you to play the same note, but then also the notes above and below, because I want you to be able to hear when it's right and when it's wrong. In order to recognize the right, you have to be able to feel the wrong. And this is the very first step on your way to learning by ear. Step two, being able to find the same note. We're going to try this out. I'm going to play 5 notes one after the other, and I want you to just try and find the same one as me. Feel free to pause the video, repeat this exercise, use it to practice with. Again, take the time to play the same note as me and to feel the wrong notes on either side. Step 3 is starting to feel the contours of the music. I'm going to play 2 notes, and instead of immediately playing with me, I want you to listen. Are they going up, down, or staying the same? For some of you this might be really easy, for others this might take some practice to hear what direction the music is going in. I want you to go back over that same bit and see if you can play along with me. After this, of course, the next step is 3 notes. Again, listen to the examples, try and hear if they're going up or down, and only when you're certain, try and play along. The next step to this is to make it even harder. Are they going in little steps or in big jumps? The larger the jump, the harder it's going to be. From here on, it's going to be a very slow process of building. Take your time. It's just like learning to read. The notes are the letters and the musical phrases are the words. You don't get to school and the teacher's like, "Hi kids, this is the alphabet. Here's some Virginia Woolf." The best thing you can do here is find someone to practice with, ask them to play a note that then you repeat, or 2 notes. And if you don't have someone to practice with, you can also download any piano app that you can use to generate some notes for you to play along with. Okay, those are our building blocks. Now I'm going to take you through how to tackle a piece. Step 1, you have to know how it goes before you start. This means listening to it a lot. Really listen to the piece again and again and again until you can sing along, until you're very familiar with the rhythm, until it's kind of unconsciously in your brain. Knowing the rhythm before you start is also really important. You can practice this by singing along just with a syllable, like da 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 ba da 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 da. It doesn't have to be musical. Step 2 is take the time to learn the structure. If it's a song, how many times do you hear the verse or the chorus? Or is there a bridge? Are there repeated sections or repeated bars or repeated little motifs that come back? You might find that a piece that's like 5 minutes long only has about 30 seconds of musical material that just repeats in different ways. By doing this, you're probably taking out something like 80% of the work. We're gonna go deeper into this now, and I think this is the most important thing with learning by ear, is learning to recognize patterns. Identifying these patterns within the music is the #1 way to make learning by ear possible for yourself. Let's take an example. This is one that I do with my music students a lot, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. There's a lot of repetitions in there. For a start, the rhythm repeats 4 times. Da, 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 da. And the motif repeats 3 times. And then that whole repeats many times. It's sequences. A sequence is a pattern of notes that might repeat higher or lower or moved around. This can be simple, like, or but recognizing sequences can help you break down these very complicated sounding passages. Then it's like, oh, I need to know those first 4 notes and then I can figure out the rest. And yes, this is very important, recognizing scales. If you know the key that you're playing in, it means that you don't have to work out that passage note by note. If you recognize it's a scale, it's just like, oh right, okay, that's a scale in G major. This is especially true for chromatic scales. Learning something crazy like the flight of the bumblebee is made a lot easier if you can just break it up into those little scale passages. See, there is a reason that we practice scales. Let's put this into practice. I'm going to play a short, simple melody that has these elements, scales, repetitions, sequences, and see if you can learn it by ear. Feel free to pause the video, take your time, and let me know how you got on. So I'm going to give you a few additional tips just to close the video. If you're learning a piece of music from a recording, it can really help to slow down the tempo. For this, I like to use an app called AnyTune. You can download it for free, and this slows down your music without changing the pitch, which can just really help when learning. You can also select a certain passage and let it loop. This is also really important. Keep playing along, and even if you lose your place, just keep it going and try and jump back in. Very important, don't forget to recheck your notes sometimes. The first time you learn a passage, you might think it's right, but upon coming back to it with fresh ears, you could hear that, oh, that note wasn't right. It's the transitions going from section to section that can be the hardest. You've learnt that part, you go to the new part, oh my god, how did that go again? I find it helps to engage all these different parts of your brain. So what I like to do is memorize the name of the note at the start of every section. That just makes it easier. Okay, we start with the B, we go here, it's the G, we go back, it's the B. Don't forget to play without the recording sometimes. Take that crutch away, and then you're really figuring out those intervals by ear without leaning on the recording. A really nice way of practicing this is to take a piece that you already know really well from sheet music and try and figure that out by ear. Your ear and your brain knows how it should be, so you're practicing those skills and figuring it out. I hear a lot from people that they say, yeah, I was trying to learn by ear, but I was just watching your fingers, that's cheating. I would say don't be so hard on yourself. If in the beginning it helps to do things to, like, check fingerings, do it. It takes time to build up each of these skills separately, and there's absolutely nothing wrong in using them to support each other. So that was my video on learning by ear. I really hope it's useful for you. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face in the corner. Down here is a link to the Team Recorder Patreon where you can choose to support the channel. Up here is a link to last week's video. It's a play along, but why not try and go and learn it by ear? Thanks for watching and have a great day.